Welcoming everybody for a new week of Four Down the Field football talk. I'm your host, Rob Young Bob Anderson, with my co host, Jeremy J. Dub Whalen. Jeremy, it is upon us. It's Michigan State. We're going to get into that at the end of the show because we want to talk about it. But how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. So you got to tell us, how was the vacation? You look great. You're glowing. Hell of a shirt.
Still on vacation. Yep, yep. No, it was great, man. It was nice to get away, feel refreshed. Uh, yeah, I drank about, I don't know, 75 drinks in about 5 days. So my body's kind of detoxing, but I got my money's worth in the drink package. So, I haven't really taken a good douche yet. The body's acting up a little bit, a little TMI there. But no, I'm detoxing right now, Jeremy. I'm going to a Halloween party tonight at the Bessos, and I will not be drinking. I am the DD. I'm going over there for football and laughter. So it's gonna be a fun day. But yeah, man, let's get right into it. Let's get into the NFL first, so we can end with college. I am tracking my records. I know people were bringing that up. So far this year, I'm 26 and 19 in college and 23 and 13 in the NFL, and that's where we're going to start. Let's get right into the Lions. I mean, usually we like to save the Lions for last in the NFL picks, but this week we're playing a Tennessee team that is pretty pathetic. I think Carolina and Tennessee are kind of all by themselves at the very bottom of the league. Lions big couple wins as of late, and now they're playing this Tennessee team. It could be like a sleepy spot, but the Lions are rolling. I'm taking the Lions minus 11 and a half because Tennessee just has no offense. They're not going to generate much out of Tony Pollard. I think the Lions win. I think they win convincingly. And it's going to be a fun Sunday.
Yep, I agree with you there, buddy. Lions are going to take this one handily. Tennessee's not very good. I don't even think Will Levis is going to play. He's questionable. Couldn't even tell you who their backup is. But they don't have an offense. They traded Hopkins away. And yeah,
Exactly.
Tony Pollard's pretty underwhelming as well. Last year in Dallas, he didn't really do much as the feature. I couldn't even tell you who the Titans head coach is, to be honest. I know they fired Vrabel, and it's some new dude.
Yeah,
Anyway, Titans suck. Lions are gonna keep rolling. Let's go, baby.
I heard the name of the backup yesterday in on the radio, but yeah, it doesn't matter. Lions are going to come to play. It's going to be at Ford Field. Enough said. Move on. Next game, Jeremy. Philadelphia travels to Cincinnati, where the Bengals are laying 3, and the over/under is at 48. I like this game. It's going to be interesting. I'm not sold on the Eagles. I think the Bengals are getting healthy. They're at home. Joe Burrow's been playing great so far, coming off that injury he had in the offseason. I like the Bengals giving up the field goal, and I'm pretty confident in that. So I'm going to go with Joe Burrow and that offense getting it done.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Eagles. They sputtered last season after starting off so hot. Nick Sirianni, I feel like he's on the hot seat. I could see him getting fired this year if they unravel again. Um, as far as Cincinnati, yeah, they've recovered. They've bounced back pretty strong. I would take them in the points as well. One thing I do want to say about Cincinnati, we need to figure out a way to wrestle Trey Hendricks out of their grasp. So Lions need to make a move to get a defensive end. I know it's been said in our amongst our group, but
Yeah.
he'd be somebody I might target because I don't see them getting Crosby, but they need to get a couple of dudes. They just have no depth. But
Is it is it Hendricks or Hendrickson? I know who you're talking about, but I don't
maybe it's Hendrickson. Yeah, I'm
I
not
don't
sure.
I don't see the Lions really doing much, to be honest. And I think that's going to upset people. But if you look back to last week, they did get 4 sacks against Darnold. I know that their left tackle, who's one of the best in the league, went down in that game. That might be a reason on why we got as many sacks as we did. I hope we make a move, Jeremy. But the defense did look good against Minnesota last week. So,
That's true.
but
That's
yeah,
true.
I would like to make a move because you got to go all in right here, right now, in
Yep.
my mind.
Yeah, I
We're gonna.
misspoke. It's Trey Hendrickson's the dude's name.
What is it?
Hendrickson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go to the NFC South division battle. The Falcons are traveling to Tampa Bay to play the Bucks. Falcons are giving up 2.5, and the line is, or the over/under is at 46. Jeremy, the Bucks are rattled on offense right now with injuries, obviously to Godwin and Evans. Baker's been playing out of his mind though, but I feel like a lot of that has to do with Godwin, what he's contributed up to this point. Um, I like the under in this game. I think the Bucks honestly can win. Um, but I'm gonna go with the under. The number's 46. I'm not sure any team gets to 24 in this game, so I think it's gonna be low scoring. So give me the under.
I got you. Yeah, I'm going to take Atlanta. I mean, you just said it. Tampa's decimated with injuries at the wideout position. Kirk Cousins, um, he still throws for a lot of yards. But anyway, I see the Falcons covering in this one.
Going with the Dirty Birds.
Yes,
Next
sir.
game, Jeremy, we got Buffalo traveling out to Seattle. The Bills are giving up a field goal. The over/under is 46.5. Um, I was kind of back and forth on this one, to be honest with you. It's never easy for any team to go all the way across the country, and the 12th man's a hard place to play. Geno Smith and that offense can get it rolling. I was reluctant to take the Bills, but that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go with Josh Allen on the road, only giving up a field goal, but I'm not going to put any money on this one though. I'm not confident in that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good game. Um, I don't know if Seattle's going to win, but I'm going to take them in this one. It's going to be a close one. I could see Buffalo just winning by a point or two.
Yeah, if Seattle wins, I think it's got to come because of Walker. I think he's got to have a big game.
Yep.
They got to control the clock a little bit, keep Allen off the field, make the most of their possessions. But we'll see what happens. I am curious to see what happens in that game. I think it's a 425 kick or a 405.
Yep.
Um,
405.
okay. Chicago traveling to Washington. Bears are favored by 3. Obviously, I think that's because Jaden Daniels is expected not to play in this game. I didn't realize he really got hurt last week because I was on vacation, but the over/under is 43.5. I'm taking the Bears. Without Jaden Daniels, I know that they still blew out who was it, Tennessee last week. We already talked about Tennessee. They suck. Um, I think Mariota's playing for the Commanders if Jaden Daniels can't get going. So I'm gonna take the Bears. I think they're starting to find themselves a little bit on offense. Um, I'm gonna roll with the NFC North. They've been balling out so far. I'll lay the field goal on the road here, which I don't like to do typically, but I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. I'm going to take Washington. I can't. I think Chicago's overrated. Kind of had a weak schedule. Yes, Caleb's came on. There's no doubt about it. But I think the Commanders are for real, to be honest. Even if Jaden Daniels doesn't play, I think Dan Quinn's done a good job with that squad. They might win the division, which is pretty freaking crazy to imagine. But yeah, give me the Commanders.
I am rooting for the Commanders, just so we're clear.
Oh, I knew you
Uh,
were.
We're gonna go to Sunday Night Football now, Jeremy. It's one of my favorite games to watch as an NFL fan. I think it's a great game. Cowboys traveling to the Niners. Niners banged up everywhere, somehow still giving up 4.5. The over/under is 47. No word on if Debo's gonna play. We're gonna talk about that in the fantasy portion of the podcast, but I'm gonna go with the Cowboys here, and it's mainly because we already talked about it a little bit. The Niners are banged up. Um, but the Cowboys are coming off a bye. They had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. The bye couldn't have came at a better point in time. And I think if they're going to get anything going this year, they gotta show up at least. Dak's got to play good. I already know Micah Parsons isn't playing, but 4.5. It's over a field goal. I think it's going to be a tight game and low scoring. I like the under, but I'm going to take the Cowboys getting 4.5 in this one.
Yeah, I feel like the Cowboys, they needed a week, maybe they needed 2 weeks of recovery, but I'm going to take them after having that bye. 49ers are beat up. The media seems to be making a big deal about Kyle Shanahan's 5-minute conversation with Brock Purdy where he just nodded, which is kind of like whatever. I mean, the hell. He's the coach, but anyway, I think Dallas is going to be fired up. They're ready to roll. And San Francisco's reeling. The only thing that's good for the Niners is the NFC West seems to be down this year, or at least early on. But yeah, I'm taking Dallas.
Yeah, I honestly think the Rams are going to kind of come alive. We're going to get into that too in the fantasy portion. They looked really good against Minnesota. And I have a question. The Lions teams that they've played the next week, they're 0-5 in their games.
Correct.
Dallas last played Detroit, but they had a bye week in between.
Yep.
So
Mm-hmm.
if they lose to San Francisco, I'm going to count it as teams are 0-6 in their next game. But if they
100%.
win, it's still 0-5. You know what I'm saying? They had that bye. So I'm going to use that against our in our favor there. But yeah, it's going to be a fun one on Sunday night. That's going to wrap it up for NFL. Let's come back to college now. Let's start with what I'm really interested here in about 45 minutes, Jeremy, is Notre Dame travels to Navy. Notre Dame's favored by 13 and a half. The over-under is 51. But this isn't like a typical academy team. It's a team that plays on a shotgun. They've schemed all year, getting people open downfield. They kind of air it out at times. They've won every game, I think, by double digits this year. And I think Navy is going to hang with Notre Dame in this one at home. I think 13 and a half is a good number, but damn it, let's go midshipman. Let's get it done. Screw Notre Dame. Come on, Navy.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think that they're both ranked. This is probably the first, I don't know when last time this game both teams were ranked, but Navy's had some decent squads, but yeah, they're pretty dynamic this year. So where's this game at? Baltimore? Is that where they play?
It's right outside
Oh, East.
Baltimore.
So they're playing in at MetLife Stadium. That's where this game's being.
Annapolis. I think it's in
Yeah,
Annapolis.
it's Annapolis. Yeah, but whatever reason, this game's in East Rutherford, New Jersey. But
Okay.
yeah, that's a lot of points for Notre Dame. I don't know, and I think Navy keeps it close. I don't know if they win the game, but I'm going to take Navy in the points.
I like it. Going to the Big Ten now, Jeremy. Illinois is traveling across the country to play in Eugene. They're taking on the Ducks. Oregon's giving up 22. The over-under is 54 and a half. Illinois with a big win last week. I know it was against a shitty Michigan team, but anytime you beat Michigan, when you're a program like Illinois, you're gonna celebrate hard. You're gonna, that's when you circle on the schedule. Uh, Playing at Oregon, as you know, is one of the toughest places to play. Coming off that maybe of a hangover spot for Illinois, I think Oregon rolls. Unless maybe Illinois gets a backdoor cover in this game, but I'm taking Oregon. I'm going to lay the 22, and yeah, I think they're going to be looking good tonight in Eugene, or today rather. Sorry. Did I lose you, Jeremy?
Yeah, interesting. This game's at 3:30 Eastern.
There you are.
Yeah, you might have lost me.
Yep. No, I got your audio. Don't have your video yet, but
Hang on.
I can hear you.
Hello.
Jeremy. Who you got in the Oregon game, Jeremy? You gonna lay the
Oregon.
22? Yeah.
Give
All
me the
right.
Ducks.
I'm assuming for the same reasons that I said. Um,
Yes.
we're gonna go to a fun one in the SEC. It still sounds weird saying that with Texas joining the SEC over the offseason, but they are on the road to Vandy. They're giving up 18. The over-under is 51 and a half. I'm taking Vandy at home. And I mean, they've been playing good football. Texas obviously lost to Georgia last week. Um, They might get. I think they might have gotten banged up in that one. Vandy at home's been playing good. 18 and a half is a lot of point, or 18 is a lot of points. Yeah, I'm rolling with the Vandy, baby.
So I got a question. I kind of been out of the loop on this. Did they bench Quinn Ewers? Is Arch now the starter, or was it
Uh,
just that game they pulled him?
uh, Quinn's still the quarterback. But yeah, if he
Okay,
struggles today, they're probably going to be pulling him and putting in Arch though because he's obviously the best backup in the country, and yeah, they can't mess around. They already got one loss. They want to keep stuff going. So I think Ewers is still the quarterback. He's expected to play today.
I got you. Yeah, but I like Vandy keeping it close. That's a lot of points for Texas. Uh, and quite a spread for just it's kind of similar to the Illinois Oregon in terms of who's favored and kind of the over line, and it's kind of like, man, how is your over under about 50 and you're saying a team's going to win by 20? Anyway, give me Vandy. I think they keep it close.
All right, we go back up to the Big Ten where Penn State is traveling to Madison to take on the Badgers. Penn State's giving up 6.5. Over under is at 48. I've been to Wisconsin before. I know that place gets rowdy. Camp Rattle is no joke. I like the under in this game, Jeremy, but I am also going to take Wisconsin getting the 6.5 points. I think it's going to be like a 20-17 kind of
Yep.
game. Um, Wisconsin could win this game outright. I think it's at 3:30 or is it a night game tonight? I don't know, but I'm interested. Give me the Badgers at home in a low scoring game.
Nice. Yeah, this is a huge game. Penn State's pretty freaking highly ranked. You're kind of like, is Penn State going to make the college football playoff? But then it's like James Franklin would have to be the top team, which he can't. So I find that interesting. This is a night game, 7:30 in Camp Randall. Yeah,
Oh,
give me
it's night.
Wisconsin.
Oh, a
Yep,
night game. Oh, I'm sold
yep,
on Wisconsin then for sure. That
yep.
place is going to be drinking all day. They're going to be rowdy at night. It's going to be fun. So
Wisconsin.
yeah,
They got the
yeah,
drunkest people in America. They like
yeah,
to party. I've been to Camp Randall just like you. It's an insane party atmosphere.
yeah.
If when they have a noon game or 11 a.m. Central, the reason it looks like it's so empty is because those people are so damn drunk and they're navigating to the stadium. Then they have jump around just to wake up all the drunks.
Yes, 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 yes. I think Wisconsin as a state actually. I saw this map. This kind of like off topic, but I think Wisconsin possesses like 15 out of the top 25 most drunkest counties in the country.
Oh
They just
yeah,
like to drink up there. Yeah, they're gonna be rolling. Yeah, give me the Badgers. I think we're on to something here, Jeremy.
yeah.
All right, it's the game of the day. I think we need in terms of implications for the playoff. It's LSU at A&M. A&M's giving up 1 point. Over under is 54.5. It's a night game. Kyle Field. LSU's good. They're definitely looking good since their first game lost to USC, which looks worse by the week. I'm gonna go Aggies at home, only giving up a point in this one. And I think both these teams are undefeated in the SEC, so this is
Yep,
actually a massive game
yep.
for possibly a path to the SEC championship. So big game. Give me the home team, Aggies.
Yeah, it's a toss up. I'm just going to go the opposite of you. Give me the Tigers. I think Brian Kelly gets it done and controls his destiny in the SEC West.
All right. And that takes us to the actual game of the day. Not for playoff implications, Jeremy, but because we live in the Mitten State. It is the in state clash between the Spartans and the Wolverines. Uh, Jeremy, go ahead.
Well, Rob, it's this is always, well, Michigan State's biggest game of the year, probably Michigan's second biggest, and that is what it is. But first time that nobody's been ranked in this game since 2008, which that was a long time ago. I was at that game. That was kind of when Michigan State broke through for the first time in forever. And anyway, it's kind of crazy to be like, damn, that was a long time ago. I'm digressing a bit. We got two first year head coaches. It's kind of crazy. Michigan's coming off their national title with Harbaugh. Obviously, Mel Tucker, he's out. um, but as far as the game on the field, unfortunately, Michigan they don't have a quarterback right now. They just don't have an offense. That is one thing MSU has. Now, Childs can turn the ball over. Last week, it was nice to see Michigan State come out of a bye and play a pretty damn good game. Their run defense looked good. Basically, gave up one long run. But as a Spartan fan, that was exciting to see. Childs, they kind of scripted the game to limit his potential mistakes. But right now, MSU, they can move the ball, and it's like I don't think Michigan can they score 2 touchdowns on offense or three. I mean, that's kind of the issue. So for those reasons, I take the Spartans. Not to say Michigan can't win, because we know in this rivalry, whoever has the most rushing yards typically wins the game. Michigan could do that. It's just, are they going to run Mullins? I mean, ultimately, if I'm Michigan, I'm running it with Edwards and Mullins and rolling that way. I saw what did is Davis Warren the starter? I
Yes.
mean,
Yep.
but Michigan in this game, they could just do orgy and just try to run it and control the clock and limit possessions. That's the strategy I would do, just
That's what I would do too.
because the quarterback play is just too erratic with the other guys. And MSU's defense, they're not bad. They got a couple of transfers, a couple of guys hung around. Um, yeah,
Well,
they got
they got better coaching. I listen. So
go
you're
ahead.
obviously taking the Spartans, and
Yes, I'm taking MSU.
they're getting 5 points. I'm assuming you think Michigan State's going to win the game.
Yep.
Doesn't matter, but you're taking State with the 5. Okay, I'm taking the Spartans, and I have hardly any confidence in Michigan beating anybody left on their schedule other than Northwestern. It's because you're not having the Wildcats or the Tame Cats right now. But yeah, you kind of already talked about it. Michigan's quarterback situation is worse than it was when we had like Nick Sheridan and Devin Gardner. I mean, this is pathetic. We have no identity. We want to run the ball, but last week we didn't run it enough and we tried to force the pass. Um, Michigan does not have a pulse right now. Bad coaching, terrible offense. It looked like players actually somewhat quit last week when they were playing Illinois. Michigan State last week, I actually liked them against Iowa, and I nailed that one. Um, I don't really know what else to say. It's just one of those years where we just don't have anything that we need. I know we gave up a lot of people last year. Um, I knew it was going to be a rough year. I thought we were going to maybe get to 8-4 before the season started, but now that I'm here right now, sitting in this chair doing this pod, I would be happy just making a bowl game. And if they're going to make a bowl game, they probably got to win today. And I'm telling you right now that I don't even think Michigan. I don't think Michigan gets even past 14 points today. I think it's going to come down to who can make the big plays, and Michigan has no big play ability unless the defense has a major screw up. And you already nailed it. Aiden Childs has big play ability. I don't even know if Will Johnson's going to play tonight, and even if he does, they can just stay away from him and pick on the cornerbacks on the other side of the field, who up to this point in the season have been terrible. Um, it's going to take, I think, what you kind of already said. Michigan's going to have to run the football, and they're going to have to run it well, minimize possessions, capitalize when they're in the red zone, which means no field goals. You get in the end zone. And I just have no confidence in this team right now. And I hope they win. But yeah, I think it's going to be a day at the end of the night. Sparty's band's going to be on the field, and it's going to be, you know, victory for MSU. And I hope I'm wrong. But yeah, I got Sparty tonight winning outright. Um, I don't even need the 5 points in my mind. We'll see what happens though.
Yeah.
I just wish this game meant more for both teams because it's just way more fun to talk about it when this game comes around.
Oh yeah.
And you already kind of said it though too. Michigan State, this is their biggest game. And it's big for Michigan too. I'm not trying to um, act like it's not because that's not remotely true at all. But Michigan's having the season that they're having. I wonder if players are being like, I didn't sign up for this shit in the locker room, being such a terrible team. Michigan State's going to come in, they're going to be motivated, and they're going to be playing as if Michigan's a 6-0 team or a 7-0 team right now. So yeah, I think the intangibles, the offense, Both go to Michigan State. Coaching as of right now goes to Michigan State. Defense, I'll probably get the slight edge to Michigan just because they're interior line. But yeah, I think Michigan State. I think it's going to be their night tonight. So
Yeah. Yeah, and it is just kind of crazy going back to that 2008 when the teams weren't ranked. I think that was like Rich Rod's first year, if I'm not
it
mistaken.
was. Yep. No, it
So
was. Yep.
it's kind of crazy to your point. Yeah, the quarterback situation, it's like, uh, John O'Corn. I can't even think of the random years where Michigan had just terrible quarterback play. And it's like, that to me is the biggest thing. And I get that they lost all these guys to the NFL. You probably a top recruit wasn't going to, start playing it. It's almost somebody should have been in the wings waiting at Michigan. And you look at all these teams across the country that got a transfer quarterback. It's just,
Coaching.
and the
I mean,
games.
there's no way as a coach in that locker room. And Sherrone Moore is an offensive dude. I don't know how he looked at that quarterback room and was like, "We're good." What do you just? And you can't sell me on that. No one would have came to Michigan. They just won the Natty. They probably could have gotten anybody that they really wanted to, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're going to see what Sherrone Moore does for the rest of this season and probably into next season. But if he finishes what I think is going to be, anywhere between 5-7 or 6-6 this year, if he doesn't go at least 8-4 or 9-3 next year, I don't see him being in Ann Arbor after that. So we'll see, man. But yeah, you guys got yourself a coach. I do like him. I think he fits state perfect, and he has his first time, I think, this season to really, have an impact on Michigan State as a program moving forward. So it's going to be a big game in that sense. Michigan State, if you're a state fan, you're in that locker room, you're probably thinking we have to win this year because we don't know what Michigan's going to be like next year. I mean, this is the time right now for Michigan State, in my mind, to win, and I think that's why they're going to come out super motivated, ready to go. And I'm worried about Michigan not being able to do that. So, yep, Paul
Yeah.
Bunyan. I don't
Yeah.
know what to say. Michigan
No,
sucks.
and
Maize
just,
and blues.
well, and it's, well, I'd just say this: Michigan, their national title and their run was like kind of it was the end of the 14 playoff, but it was also the end of traditional college football, high school recruits, and having guys for 3 or 4 years. And that's changed a lot too. So your point about Michigan, yeah, you might have guys that are checked out. They're like, screw it, I'm going to another team. Sounds like you think Sharon Moore's at least getting another year. But I was going to ask, like, do you think he'll get fired this year? I don't
I,
know.
I don't think he'll get fired, but
Because it was kind of,
I do think they have to give him 2 years. You know what I mean? But we'll see. I mean, I'm not
yeah,
gonna. I do know we lost a lot last year, but you can't tell me it's not all. A lot of it's because of coaching, though. I mean, they just look like crap. So, all right, go blue though. Go blue. We're gonna wrap it up,
go
Jeremy.
green.
Let's move into the pod that we really want to get into. That's the fantasy portion. We're gonna take a quick break by our sponsors, DraftKings Sportsbook and Bengay.